In back segment tonight, President Obama is in China this evening talking economics, and the Chinese media really working him over, as Ed Henry reported this morning.
When the Chinese decide to attack the president openly in some of their state-run newspapers, including Global Times, making fun of the president and mocking him over that midterm election drubbing, saying in part, quote, Obama always utters, yes, we can, which led to the high expectations people had for him. But he has done an insipid job, offering nearly nothing to his supporters.
Joining us now from Washington with analysis, Britt Hume. So it's kind of tough for me watching an American president being treated shabbily by the Chinese. But I can't figure out what's in it for the Chinese. I mean, the president of the United States goes over there and wears the little tunic they have, you know, and this is state-run media, so we know it's coming from the government. And they're, mocking him. Why are they doing it?
Well, it's of a piece, I think, with China's, sort of expansionist ambitions. This is the way dictatorships behave. They're paranoid and they're territorial. They often seek to expand their domains and their influence in the world. They're paranoid about how they're perceived in the world. China is a great power. It wants to become a greater power, thinks it has become a greater power. And, it sees the United States as a rival and perhaps even as an enemy, despite the fact that the economic ties between the two countries are deeper than they've probably ever been, which is a restraining force, I guess, on both sides.
But I still don't know what they gain from making it personal and attacking Barack Obama. They might want something from him in the next 2 years. I mean, what do they gain by doing it? This is like fifth grade stuff. Why?
Well, I think they think they can. They think he's weak. They think that that he can be bullied perhaps into seeing things their way. I noticed that tunic, Bill. It's common at those Asian Pacific Economic Conference summits to have the leaders all wear something that is common to the host country. That's what that looked like to me. But they usually do that for the big class picture. I'm not sure they wear it all day. I mean, I wonder whether the president, needed to do that then. I don't know.
I wouldn't wear that. Look, if I'm the president and they're working me over in the state-run media and they give me that tunic, I set it on fire. I mean, I'm not wearing that thing. All right. There comes a point, and I don't know whether President Obama is aware of it. He probably isn't. But there comes a point where you're representing the most powerful nation on earth, and you don't have to take that. You don't react immaturely, all right? But you say, you know what? I don't like this, and I don't want to see it again. And if I see it again, I'm going to get on the next plane home.
Well, China's interesting on this point. I mean, it's a little hard to fathom their motives, but try to see it. I can't really read their minds, but it appears to me, at least, that they think the president is weak, and I don't mean by that.
Of course, they think he's weak. Everybody thinks he's weak.
Well, I understand that, but what are they looking at? That editorial mentioned the midterm elections, but that's not really the key factor here. The key factor, Bill, it seems to me, is that even although it's diminished now and spread to some extent thin around the world, the United States still is by far the military superpower of the world. I mean, think of China. China has one aircraft carrier. The United States has 10 or 19, depending on how you count them. It's building 2 more of these Ford-class supercarriers, which will dwarf anything that anyone else in the world has. It's light years ahead of what we have had now, and we're now light years ahead of everybody else. So the idea that we're not as powerful as we once were in relation to China is true, but we're still very powerful. The question is,
President Obama doesn't carry himself that way.
And he has been hesitant to use the power. Right. And that is what the Chinese leaders see. I think they find that contemptible, even contempt, and that's why they act contemptuous of him.
You're introducing a cultural thing. You think that they find it contemptible because of their culture, where weakness is considered.
Well, let me put it this way. It makes them lose respect for him and think of him as weak, and that's why you see this sort of back-of-the-hand treatment that he gets and has really gotten from the start with the Chinese. He's been there before. He wasn't particularly well treated the first time.
No, in the Olympics and all that. And they ignored Bush pretty much. They didn't really say much one way or the other about him.
They didn't really mess with him.
Just real quick, on the debate that we've had on immigration, I think if Obama signs the immigration executive order, that it's going to get really hateful and nasty. I don't think they're going to. Yeah, that's what I think is going to happen.
It raises for me this question. The obstacle to getting a bill through the House, which is where it was stopped the last time, is that people in the House look at Obama and they look at a bill, and the bill may have some border enforcement provisions written into it.
They don't think he's going to do it.
They don't think he'll do it.
Right.
So, what is the effect then of his issuing an executive order, which may be of questionable constitutionally, on that process? It makes it even harder, which raises the question: does Obama really want a bill?
That's what I'm asking.
Or does he want the issue for himself and his party?
He wants a war. That's what I think he wants.
I think he's trying to set a trap.